Welcome to today's special episode of the BigCommerce channel for Talk Commerce. Remember to collect your free joke during the episode. If you have an online store, then most likely you have someone who is helping you customize it. We call these people developers, and they help make merchants' lives easier by creating solutions that increase your ROI on your website. Stephen Hilliard is the developer advocate for BigCommerce and talks about all great things that BigCommerce is doing in the community and for developers. He goes over some of the past events that BigCommerce has done, along with what they're planning for 2023. The exciting news is Twitter Spaces that is happening on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Central. You can join the space on Twitter starting October 20th, 2022. Oh, sorry, I just realized I was making this commercial. I'm just snacking on some freeze-dried Skittles from the Bulk Candy Store. The Bulk Candy Store is a family-run shop nestled in sunny South Florida, where their customers are their close friends. The Bulk Candy Store has been helping to celebrate your most memorable events with sweets and snacks since 1992. Every day is a celebration, and sharing those moments with people is priceless. Whether you're ringing in the new year or just gathering to make merry, the Bulk Candy Store has all the sweet treats you need to make the special occasions of your life exceptional. Go to bulkcandystore.com today and order your next sweet treat. My name is Brent Peterson, and I'm your host. Please remember to subscribe wherever you download your podcasts. And now, Talk Commerce. Welcome to this big dev edition of Talk Commerce. Today I have Stephen Hilliard. Stephen is with the Dev Relations Department, something like that at BigCommerce. Stephen, go ahead, do a much better introduction than I did. Tell us your day-to-day role and maybe one of your passions in life.
Thanks, Brent. Yeah, I am a developer relations advocate at BigCommerce, and this has been a big push of BigCommerce with their DevRel team to build value through engagement with our community of developers and also advocate for our internal team. The quote that came up with by BigCommerce is that our developer advocacy and developer community teams create and manage our internal processes for cultivating and maintaining relationships between the BigCommerce teams that build the products and our developers outside who use them. And that is the company's slogan. So with that, developer relations advocates do is we build value through engagement. This is important to both internal and externals because we are day-to-day driving awareness, engagement, and the adoption of our product, thus reducing the risk of churn rate for BigCommerce and its partners. We build out code contributions, get code contributions and feedback for our product to implement in the current product roadmaps and reduce attrition, and engage in external requests from the community or partners to put on the product roadmap to increase the value of the BigCommerce product, its partners, and the whole ecosystem itself for the platform. Day to day, we are engaging with developers and cultivating relationships, conduct developer retrospectives and surveys to gain community insights. We are the quote-unquote voice of the developer and advocate for feature requests submitted through our channels, meet with the internal stakeholders to identify patterns of feedback to implement into product roadmaps. And once those are conducted and built out, we will build coding examples, demos, and workshops and talks at events to provide onboarding for our developers for skills they can bring back to our partners.
Very cool. All right, so before we get into our content, our talk here, I did warn everybody, or warned Stephen about the free joke project, and Stephen has volunteered to listen to my free joke. Today we've decided that we are going to switch it. Should it be open source or should it be behind a paywall or closed source? Or maybe this would be better as open sassy jokes or closed sass paywalled, have to use your payment gateway joke. Anyways, here we go. I once bought a wooden car. It had a wooden engine, wooden doors, wooden wheels, wooden seats. I put the wooden key in the ignition. Wouldn't start.
Oh, I would say that should be definitely Open Sassy.
Open Sassy. Excellent. Good. Stephen. Thanks for playing along, Stephen. All right, so we're going to dive right into developer relations. I like what you said about value through engagement. Tell us a little bit about how you're pushing this value through engagement for the BigCommerce developers.
The BigCommerce DevRel team is filled with passionate people. My team, though small, day to day, we're working hard and engaging with our developers and internal teams. We take the developer journey very seriously. We know that there can be roadblocks along the way. We know that the starting point can be especially challenging, as we have seen and have heard in some feedback, and that some projects never get off the ground because developers don't receive the necessary support. And that's why we're here, for the developer success or your success, to mitigate, if not completely remove, the roadblocks from your path and ensure that your journey is a smooth one. And over the last few months, BigCommerce has put in a major effort into strengthening our developer relations program and building out a world-class developer experience, and continues to do, making this one of our top priorities as we do this, and that is through building value through engagement.
Have you seen more and more developers getting involved now? Have you seen a difference between, say, the other open source communities and how BigCommerce is now approaching this?
We have seen quite a few aspects of getting our community more and more involved. Last August, we did a hackathon, big hackathon, which was BigCommerce's first community-driven hackathon, and our engagement in that was we didn't want to make any sort of control variables of you have to do this, but we wanted the feeling, the vibe to be, this is a place where you can come and just create something cool. And we gave our developers and our teams just free reign based off of a judging rubric, which was, have you identified a problem that BigCommerce is facing, and what is your solution for it? And can it integrate with the BigCommerce platform? And that was pretty much the only agenda. Man, did we get a lot of engagement through that. We got a lot of really cool ideas that came about it. We met some of those developers at the Partner Summit, and the hackathon itself was 2 weeks long, which is a bit longer than normal hackathons, but during that time we set up a Discord server, provided aids with our engineers, with our internal teams, and I think we had over 58 developers show up, participate, and really engage with each other, not only with BigCommerce, but amongst each other as not partners, not with their own agenda, but just as the community coming together, talking about some cool ideas, running into problems as all developers run into when they're doing builds, and engaging with each other for solutions. It was a really great time, and since we have done that, we've seen gaining momentum of more and more community developers really getting involved through our channels.
And the 58 developers were external? And then and that's plus the BigCommerce team that was involved in helping?
The 58 developers were external, and the BigCommerce teams that were involved in helping were some of everyone on the DevRel team, our dev community team, some of our product engineers that would be going over some Ask Me Anything talks. There was a lot of Commerce internal team members that wanted to take part in the judging, that wanted to help out any way that they possibly could, even if to just engage in who we're building this platform for.
There was another developer event, the Big DevX, that was put on by Space 48. Were you involved in that at all?
I was not involved in that one, but they did send us a video for our presentation at the Partner Summit that I believe is also available on our DevX site. And you can get all the information and everything that they went over.
Do you find it encouraging that Space 48 is based in the UK, and they've really started pushing this community aspect? Is it encouraging that a lot of this community is coming from outside the United States, and we now need to make a push for some more community within the United States?
Yeah, I think that they were pushing a lot for community, and it was a really big driving force because one of our biggest partners pushing for this kind of community relations really helped us internally say, all right, the want is there, so we have to find a way to fulfill the want. And during Hackathon itself, I would say it was split into thirds. I couldn't really tell you if we needed more engagement because it was about a third of UK, a third of United States, and a third of Asian Pacific. And that's a pretty good equal amount. And I would love it if more engagement came from the United States, but I would also love it if more engagement came internationally. Really, it's not where it's coming from, it's just the feeling comfortable to engage, and that's what we truly want.
And so tell us a little bit about the hackathon and how you felt that you had success in that. Tell us about some of the successful outcomes.
We started, and when we got the approval and the go-ahead, we had about 2 weeks to get it together. So it was a mad dash with our team, and we were 200% overtime just trying to get everything together and going. And since it was our first one, we were building the plane as it was flying, essentially. So by the time we opened it up, we were just hoping we had 3 teams because we had a first, second, and third place prize. So we were just like, okay, if we just have 3 teams, that would be great. And we ended up with, I believe, 8 or 9 teams and 58 developers, and we were amazed by it. We thought it was very successful. We were getting requests from partnership of other tech companies wanting to do hackathons with us, even wanting to jump onto that hackathon, which we were like, this is the first one we're doing. It's a little down the road to get more and more people involved at this point, but it led to now on the roadmap we have quite a few more hackathons coming up for 2023. Some pretty exciting ideas are being submitted, and some cool hackathons you will probably be able to see in the next couple months.
Excellent. And is there any in-person hackathons that you have planned yet?
In-person hackathons that we have planned, I believe we are trying to push for something for next October, for a Hacktober. Now, everything that we've done so far, it is a learn what works, learn what didn't work. We're essentially forming this system as we go. Hopefully by next October we'll be able to do a much larger, possibly in-person event. That being said, it is difficult with a lot of our developers being UK, Europe, Asian Pacific, to say, hey, fly out to Austin for 2 days to a week to do a hackathon. Require more of a much larger event, with the hackathon being just the cherry on top, possibly the ending event. Personally, I would love it if we were able to do something in August where we could have a long-term event that led into the Partner Summit, real-time show a hackathon. The partners and developers could be there. We could extend the timeline a little bit more. We could get the judging a little bit faster, announce the winners at the Partner Summit. To me, that would be a really cool event. I think it would bring a lot of people out.
Yeah, so I've also been involved in some community-based events, and we would do the Talks conference on a Friday or a Thursday, and then the hackathon would be on a Saturday, and even sometimes hackathons would be Saturday, Sunday, where you do a full Saturday and then a half day on Sunday would be the final day. So I think that's I love that idea, and I even love the idea around the Partner Summit having a hackathon in conjunction. From an open source standpoint or a hackathon standpoint, do you see some uniqueness in the BigCommerce community compared to other e-commerce platform, SaaS platform communities?
I see a lot of uniqueness with the BigCommerce community because our team is very small. In order to reach out to the community, we have to know all of our community. If you don't know someone, we make it a point to get to know you. I can't speak for other e-commerce platforms and their developer relations teams and their communities. I know there's ones that their community absolutely loves them. You have the fanboys and fangirls. We have our own as well, but I feel with much larger DevRel teams, you get siloed into, say, making content, the ones that engage with community, the ones that do talking points, and our team does all of it. So there's never a lapse of we have James or Scott from this partnership that has requested this. I know. I was also discussing it with them. I think some of our developers, I've talked just life after hours, just shooting the breeze on what are you working on, what is your bucket list, how is your build when your 3-year-old was up late at night, you told me that they were sick, how are they doing, that sort of stuff. The engagement goes beyond just the e-commerce, BigCommerce ecosystem and platform. It's just actually about really connecting with the community and talking to them like a human being and an individual and a friend. So that is what we strive for.
What are the future plans or the roadmap for the developer relations for next year?
So we have a lot of things on our plate as far as future roadmaps. The one thing that we have heard a lot of is our developer center at BigCommerce. We have a lot of wants from both internal teams and external community from the feedback that we have gotten. So this is our big push to get as many of these features implemented in 2023. Logical paths for beginners to easy follow steps with onboarding, advanced tutorials and documentation. We are working on some onboarding video tutorials to link with our documentation. And this is be an ongoing video tutorial series for our developers from the start of their development journey. Like, I just got a BigCommerce site, I want to do a little tinkering, to the advanced practices and real-world issues and solutions they might run into for the advanced developers. Troubleshooting, we have heard a lot in the headless journey research that people are looking for workarounds that have been solved in, say, Stack Overflow or just talking in the community that aren't documented in our Dev Center. So we want to include more real-world coding examples and workarounds, and creating a better searches for our Dev Center for actually getting the docs that you want that would be helpful to you. So keyword searches and updating the sorting methods for our documentation when those searches are entered. As far as some other stuff, like I mentioned, we have some more hackathons along the BC. We'll be hosting some of them, and we will be working with partner affiliates on some of them as well. And we want to do more engagement, more face-to-face engagement. We have found that though things like Slack channels and Twitter are great for engaging, there's a much more personal experience when you talk face-to-face. So Hangouts and Twitter Spaces for the external devs to come and talk to developer relations, and we'll be doing different talking points and events. What are you currently working on? AMA, real-world coding problems that you guys have run into that you found solutions for. Just a laid-back hangout, talk face-to-face. And with that, the more engagement we get, the more that we can help create better onboarding experiences for, say, new-coming developers, new people that are just starting out, maybe advanced developers that were hired on to a partner and they run into an issue that, one of our community events, one of our developers talked about how they found a crazy, unique, cool solution to that, and we can write it down and get it out for everyone to know about.
Do you publish any statistics on how many features are included in the core from the community versus internal?
We do. We have quite a few amount of ways that we pull features from internal and from community. We actually have at the BigCommerce Community Help Center, there is an actual ideas center there where if you are a developer that has an idea in your external, you can write down that idea and it will be voted upon. And we do it based off a vote system for features. We're like, this is said many times and voted on a lot. This is definitely something that people really want, so we're going to put it on the roadmap. And I encourage external developers to utilize that tool and also to engage with the developer community as well as the dev advocates, because we can also push that to the right stakeholders, product and engineering, and get that moving forward a little faster. So again, that building value through engagement is crucial and important.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, Stephen, we have a few minutes left here. At the end of the podcast, I give my guests a chance to do a shameless plug about anything you'd like to plug. What would you like to promote or plug today?
I would like to plug that we are doing Twitter Spaces. We will be hosting them. We'll be doing one this Thursday, October 20th at 1 p.m. Central. We will be doing these Twitter Spaces, I believe, every Thursday, if not every other Thursday. And this one particular will be a year first for BigCommerce developer relations. And again, this is one of those chances for our community to come and talk, have AMAs, listen to what's coming down the pipeline for the BigCommerce platform. And then, like I mentioned, the hackathons that will be coming in 2023. You can read more about it at our DevX at BC site. One, you'll be able to get in touch or see where meet the developer relations team and be able to get in touch with them. And there's also an events page for all the events that will be coming up in 2023.
Excellent. So you've given me a challenge to get this podcast live tomorrow, so we can have that news at least out there. But we will put all the links on the show notes, and I will certainly do my best to promote the Twitter on hopefully every other Thursday, if not every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Twitter Spaces. Stephen Hilliard is the developer relations advocate at BigCommerce. Stephen, thank you so much for being here today. It's been a very enjoyable conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making it to the end of this episode of Talk Commerce. Please rate this episode wherever you download your podcasts. We are actively looking for people to participate in the Free Joke Project. Go to talk-commerce.com and sign up for your free spot on the Free Joke Project. If you are a business, I will do a 30-second elevator pitch in the spot to help promote your business. That's talk-commerce.com.